Welcome to African Diaspora News Channel. This is Beth Lee. Cameroon's main opposition leader, Professor Maurice Kamto, has been charged in a military court with rebellion and other offenses. The former government minister was arrested in Douala on the 28th of January after his MRC party organized protests contesting last October's election results. Kamto faces charges including hostility against the homeland, incitement to insurrection, offense against the President of Democratic Republic of Cameroon, destruction of public buildings and goods. His lawyers said on Wednesday that if Professor Kamto is found guilty, he could face the death penalty. The opposition leader, who says he was cheated out of the presidency in elections last year, was transferred to a maximum security prison in the capital Yaoundé during the night by the military court. 28 members of his Cameroon Renaissance movement are also on trial for the same charges. Meanwhile, 100 other supporters were due to appear before the Yaoundé military court on Wednesday to find out if they too will face a similar fate. The fact that our military court is the one bringing the charges against Professor Kamto is shocking. How can someone who has never carried a weapon against the government, someone who has never called for armed struggle, is judged by a military court? Professor Kamto being judged in a military court is an outrage, not only in Cameroon, but all over the world. The charges against Kamto illustrate the challenges facing African justice system, often in the hands of the autocratic governments. Kamto is basically being imprisoned for expressing his human rights. Can you believe that? Cameroon is already in political unrest in its troubled Western Anglophone region after residents there were repressed as well. It is this restriction of liberties that has triggered the Anglophone crisis. Professor Kamto has called for an end to the 2-year conflict. The opposition leader and his supporters demonstrated in several cities and towns on the 26th of January, urging an end to the crisis and for a recount of the October election results in which he came second. It was shortly after this demonstration that Kamto was arrested in the economic capital, Douala, and that is how we got to today's charges. The human rights lawyer, Agbon Congo, said that the charges were all too familiar and bogus. They were the same charges that the government brought against the said human rights lawyer. It's a way to fight against dissent, repress people, and to perpetuate Mr. Biya's reign as they have been doing for the last 36 years. The French Foreign Ministry spokeswoman said Wednesday the government was worried by the charges against Kamto and urged Paul Biya to allow the opposition to express itself freely. None of the key partners of Cameroon has clearly condemned the arrest and detention of Kamto or asked firmly that the Cameroonian government release him. The rights groups, though, have condemned the attitude of the Cameroonian government, with Amnesty International saying the arrest of Kamto and his staff signaled an escalating crackdown on opposition. For the sake of democracy of Cameroonian citizens, the international community must act. I urge the diaspora and its friends to support the citizens of Cameroon by reaching out to all organizations that can bring change to this situation. If you're listening or watching this video and have connections to such organizations, I urge you to have a conversation with them and bring this to their attention. We must act and support the people of Cameroon. The life of an innocent man is in danger for standing for the rights of the people of Cameroon. And if convicted, he could face the death penalty. People in the past that went against Paul Biya in presidential elections have disappeared or turned out dead. So if Paul Biya is not checked, Professor Kamto could disappear as well. Let's speak to as many people as we can and try to come up with a solution. Because if Professor Kamto is convicted, he could face the death penalty. Please share this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification button to be notified as soon as we share more videos. We want to thank you so much for watching. We love you, and please stay safe. Blessings.